demographics and blah, blah, blah. Ethical considerations. There are always ethical considerations unless you are using data that already exists somewhere. Like I had people going through all 700 websites from accredited social work programs to look and see if they required a human sexuality course for an undergraduate social work degree or a master's degree, all over the U.S. You don't have an ethical consideration there. But any other time you are collecting data from people, you have human subjects issues. Confidentiality. If you give a questionnaire to them, then all you can guarantee is confidentiality because you know who it is. You may not know their name, but you can spot them. What you do is once you take that information, you make sure that there's no names or social security numbers, so then it can be de-identified and become anonymous. Okay? Or if you did it on the computer, where people don't even put in their names, that would be anonymous. Okay? Then you don't know who responded. But the fact, for example, that Sean did this class, his data is not anonymous. Now, he doesn't know who said what, but he knows it came from this class, so all he can do is guarantee confidentiality. What you're going to all say is that a consent form was given to your respondents, but in order to maintain anonymity or confidentiality, you did not have them sign it. Therefore, there was no name to attach to the data. Just something like that, okay? And then the findings, what did you find out? You know, this is where, again, you're going to have to be, what the word would be, parsimonious. You need to be succinct and brief. You don't have time to go through everything, but this is where you might want to talk about, you know, again, the majority of the participants in my study were white women who identified as lesbians. Whatever it was, you know, here's who the majority is. The majority of people agreed with these statements. The majority of people disagreed with these statements. And this findings, though, to some extent, is going to be your frequency data. But I do expect everyone to have at least one inferential statistic, correlation, or a t-test where you talk about the relationship between two or more variables. Okay? What you should know is that, for example, did we use your data, Sean? The male and female? He wanted to see if men and women had different attitudes about straightness. And so he did a t-test. And he found out that I can't remember what the answer was, because what you need to remember is that a non-significant finding is just as important as a significant finding. If the t-test was statistically significant, that there was a difference between men and women, he would say that. Men were more likely to disagree with this statement, and women were more likely to agree or strongly agree. But if there was no difference, he needs to say that. There was no difference in rape myth beliefs between men and women. That's just as important. There was no differences based on age. So you don't have to have a statistically significant finding for it to be important or relevant. Okay? And then implications for social work. This is basically, why does it matter to us as social workers? You know, why would we care? Because it probably can inform how we work with people, the education we do, the things we try to change in the world. And the conclusion, you know, you may not even want to do a conclusion. I mean, I guess you better because you're going to have a point for it. But it is so in summary, this study was about, you know, looking at rape myths on campus, and that, based on my study of 30 people, I found that most people don't know what to do, but fortunately they also do not believe the rape myths. Period. Okay? Yes, Sean. Yes.
Or are you going by the page number?
No. I am looking to make sure you hit all of the points. So when we go back up here to the paper itself, which is, unless there's any questions about the oral presentation. Yes, now.
So the oral presentation is at least up to 10 minutes, and it's more like a discussion with these slides.
I would recommend a PowerPoint. You might want to make some of your data into graphs. You know, you can do that very easily, either in Excel or SPSS. Well, I don't think we've talked about doing it in SPSS, but it's very easy in Excel. same way that you did your graphs for the self-improvement project. Also, you should know that we have now got authorization for Professor Whipple to tutor you all in research, SPSS, whatever you need. So you can see her about that. Also, you can go to the academic support down in the library and ask them for help with SPSS. And they can help you. Okay? And I'll be around as much as I can. Again, I can't be doing the whole every.
I don't know how to do the graph in Excel. What would you put, like, what?
We should go back over, I'll work with you individually.
Because my findings, I have nothing.
Okay, what was your
But
topic?
I was trying to figure it out if food stamps will impact the health of children, but mostly nobody has children, and the ones that have children wearing SNAP, so I found.
Okay, so this is really important. Okay, here's a really good example. And one of the things, don't feel bad about that. One of the things that often happens, and particularly when we're doing something like this, is you don't have the ability to go to the people who might have the answers. So we create a questionnaire, and then it turns out that the sample for which you have access can't even answer those questions, because if they have kids, they were never on food stamps. And you might